very important issues.
Well, that last point was a pretty good one. The public would rather hear about sports than about judges, and that's true. I mean, we mentioned that 86% of the people didn't know who I was before my last campaign in November 2008, and this is just the summer before a very historic election nationally, which has an impact on judicial races. And so what I wanted to do in 2008 was to elevate my profile in any way that I could. And that takes raising money to get on TV in the major media markets. In Texas, we have 3. You have Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio, and that takes a lot of money. And what am I trying to do in that sort of campaign to raise my profile? What I would like to do is talk about all of the innovations that the court has been engaged in the last year since I became Chief Justice. We created Children's Commission. We're increasing access to justice. We have cameras in our courtroom. We're doing all these innovative things around the state of Texas. But there's no time in a campaign to convey that message or the disposition rate, how you're doing on the court. So what you try to do is either the negative stuff that you saw in these campaign commercials, or you do what I did. We know that Obama was running a very vigorous race and had been down to Texas twice, and there were record crowds, and we knew that the vote was going to be high in the Democratic Party, and I'm running as a Republican. So what do I want to do? Increase my profile as much as I can in where the turnout's going to be big, even among Democrats, and try to get them to cross over. My campaign commercial, the first couple lines said, Wallace Jefferson, Chief Justice of Texas, descendant of a slave whose owner was a former Texas judge. Today, he's Chief Justice of Texas. Only in America. That's how it started out. Now, what is that, It's Obama, right? It's like you're trying to catch the wave. And the rest of the campaign, I don't have time to talk about my merit or arguing before the Supreme Court or this or that. It is making sure my name is mentioned as many times as possible, and then putting my family on at the end. And they're beautiful, They're great-looking kids, and my wife is gorgeous. And you have a good feeling at the end of it. But this is the thing. It's the name. It's a good name. It is imagery. It's marketing. It is money because you're trying to get in all these different markets. It's looking at the political stakes, who's coming out to vote in what different regions. That's how you win an election, and being in the right political party. But what have I not said? It has nothing to do with experience. I wouldn't have had ever argued a case in a state court or in a federal court. I might have been brought up on ethics charges. I might be lazy. None of that is part of these campaigns. And so my biggest complaint about the way we do it in Texas and in other states where they elect judges is it is completely illogical. It is not geared toward trying to find the best and the brightest to serve on the bench when you've got millions and billions of dollars at stake, when you've got the custody of children at issue, when you have in a state like Texas death penalty. That's my foremost problem. My second problem is the public's perception, which we've heard a lot about and we'll hear more about, I'm sure, that once you're collecting dollars from lawyers that are going to appear before your court, you're going to be inclined to vote in their favor, or at least more inclined to vote for them than to someone who hasn't contributed or has not contributed as much. It's an uphill climb. We've been trying in Texas for many, many years. It takes people like you. It takes non-lawyers. It takes both sides of the political spectrum, trial lawyers and business lawyers. People have to come together in a coalition to make the argument against, and this is a powerful argument, against the people's right to vote, even initially. That it sells. You talk about marketing. That's kind of the marketing campaign against moving to some kind of reform mechanism. So I'm happy to be here today to discuss these issues with you here in public and in private, maybe in the weeks and months to come. Thank you for letting me speak to you.